What's going on, everybody? Andrew here. I've got another pod review for you. It's the 7-pot Jonah yellow variety. Got it from Jim Duffy at Refining Fire Chiles. Here's his card. Thanks, Jim, for sending this. I really appreciate it. I think the Jonah is one of the varieties I've heard a lot about, just never gotten a chance to eat. I had a red Jonah in my last video. Now I'm going to be eating the yellow variety. I'll go ahead and cut into this and show you the inside. Not a ton of placenta. Most yellow varieties don't have as much as reds and browns. I'm going to remove some of these seeds. I find that the yellow varieties have more of a citrusy flavor. And they tend to mostly burn in the mouth and not so much in the throat. At least that's my experience. As we all know, the experiences change from user to user. So I'm going to get some of these seeds out. I'm going to chew it up for 30 seconds to a minute. I haven't been swallowing them because I don't like getting cramps anymore. And I threw in the cramp towel way before anybody, probably earlier than a lot of people did. But I mean, I got to do what's right for me. This one's almost orange in color, but it's definitely, I mean, it definitely was yellow when I go ahead and, I'm not going to take that one off yet. So this is the orange 7-pot Jonah from Jim Duffy at Refining Fire Chiles. Alright, cheers. So I'd say this one's a little, definitely a lot milder than the red version. It has a sweet and citrusy taste to it. And right now the burn is localized mostly in the mouth. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. But that's definitely it's definitely a milder variety, as most yellow and orange 7-pots tend to be. They tend to focus on the mouth. The red Jonah had a very intense mouth burn. And this one seems to be a little bit lighter. Well, a little bit. I mean, it's a lot less intense up front. I'll go ahead and give it a couple minutes just so I can put my full time in, because I don't want to judge the heat right now. It might be builder. might be a builder, excuse me, as some chilies tend to be. But overall, the taste of the chili was very sweet. It had like an orangey, citrusy flavor to it, with a good bit of crunch to it as well. But I'd say, as of right now, the heat's a little bit hotter than a habanero. Probably in the high 100,000s, but it doesn't have that intense stinginess to it, which is nice. And the burn is almost exclusively on the top of my tongue and on the roof of my mouth. And I find most of the time, for me, those types of burns are a little bit easier to handle when they start getting to the sides and underneath the tongue and into the roof and into the back of the throat. Those are usually the ones that I give a higher heat rating. For this one, I'd probably give it a 5.5 out of 10. Maybe even a 6, because the level of heat's not very high, and I mean, it's not uncomfortable. It's something you definitely could eat on a regular basis, in my opinion. I mean, I really enjoyed the flavor of that chili, and the heat is in the high. It's a super hot, but it's not uncomfortable. I mean, even some habaneros, they're not incredibly hot, but they burn like crazy because of the way the burn is, and it's a very stingy burn. This burn is higher than a habanero. Sorry, I think I have a seed in my throat. It has a higher burn in heat, but it isn't as intense. It's less stingy. It's more of like a dull heat, but I can definitely tell that it's hot, because I am perspiring, and I think I have a little bit of a slight endorphin rush, nothing too much. I think since I stopped swallowing the chilies, I get less of an endorphin rush, unless it's extremely high in heat and very painful in the mouth, which is a little bit of a downside, but I'll deal with that to not get capsaicin cramps. And I mean, I was getting them and they were lasting for 8 hours at a time. They would start very intense and painful to the point of being on the ground in agony, and then I would basically be awake all night with like an aggravated pain. So this one, I definitely would love to grow this in my garden next year. I think my want to grow list is getting a quite bit larger than I would like. So I think I'm gonna have to stop wanting to grow things. But definitely check out Jim Duffy at Refining Fire Chiles. You find him at www.superhotchilies.com. There's the website there. He has everything you would need, from the commonplace chili to to a lot of chilies that are extremely rare. He was one of the only chili growers who had the Aleppo chili this year, which is a protected chili from Syria, I believe. So I mean, he has some very, very rare chilies, and he's very generous, and I appreciate everything you've done for me, Jim, this year. I hope to continue to do reviews for you next year, because I know the season's winding out. So check him out, guys. He's got seeds. He's going to have plants available next year. I believe he told me it was around April. And then he also sells fresh and dried chilies as well. Because of the time of year, it's probably mostly going to be dried at this point. But I do know that if you are somebody who's looking for bulk chilies and you want him to grow something specifically for you, he will do that. Just send him an email or find him on Facebook, and he's a very nice guy and he's very responsive as well. So go ahead and check him out. Thanks again for watching. My name is Andrew once again. Over here on the channel, we're always trying to spice things up a notch, and this definitely is something that'll do it for you. So I really appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next review.